Hey everybody, back again, and today we're going to continue along the same lines we've been on recently. We're going to make another hammer out of a hammer. Now, I know how oxymoronic the statement making a hammer out of a hammer is, but you'll understand if you've seen any of these videos here where I actually took these sledgehammer heads and turned them into some forging hammers that are on the heavier side. Now we're going to start working on some lighter hammers. By lighter hammers, I mean hammers like this 2-pound ball peen. This is a lighter smithing hammer. 2 pounds is a pretty light hammer for smithing. It's more of a finishing hammer, more of a cleanup work hammer. You can do some forging on lighter materials with it, which is also nice. So we're going to make a cross peen out of this. This side, the ball side here, will become our cross peen. It's not going to be a very big cross peen, just a cross peen for spreading. And then we're going to make a rounding face out of this big boy head here. This is going to be for lighter material movement, for tune-up work, for smaller projects, things like that. Just like those other hammers were for bigger work, or for moving material just a little bit more. So let's go ahead and get this in the fire, get this softened back up, then we can go ahead and we can start to forge the cross peen side and the rounding face on this. So we're going to give this 3-pound that we made the other day a test drive for this project, just to see how it does in terms of, you know, moving material. It's a good looking hammer, but how does it work? I know that this 4-pound works well, the first one we made, because I used it to make this one. But let's see how this one does. Let's go ahead and start forming that cross peen. So off of just the first heat, I can tell you this is working tremendously well. Cool. This is going to make really quick work of this. Smooth this face up a bit. As you can see, we've given it a nice round shape, similar to like a giant radius on a ball peen, but that just helps it penetrate the material when we forge with it, so we can get more out of each stripe, so to speak. I am going to go ahead and draw this cross peen section down just a hair more, try and get it just a little wider, just a hair thinner, because on a lighter hammer like this, we want that cross peen to be a little bit thinner, just so we can transfer as much force into our material and penetrate as deep as we want on each stroke. Like I said, if you want properly looking, you know, beautiful little hammerheads, go buy them for $300 from a guy who makes them all the time in a very traditional, beautiful format. But if you just want something that works, learn how to heat treat, make it yourself. Besides, when you make it yourself, you can forge each tool that will be unique to you in your own style, that has the features you as a smith specifically need. Now we'll go ahead and reshape the eye a little bit. As you guys well know at this point, I very much like square eyes. I find them more aesthetically appealing. So, we're going to make it a little more square. As you can see, that eye is a lot more square and a lot broader. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Sides. This one's a little more defined, so that'll probably be my top. Just because we can hide the less defined, little uglier guy near the handle, and it'll almost never be noticed. And like I said, this is a tool for me. I wouldn't do this on something I'm selling, and I don't ever intend on selling forging hammers. I just make my own tools because it's a lot cheaper. Sharp corners on your peen. Not only is it uncomfortable to have sharp corners on your peen, it'll be working against you because it'll leave all kinds of nasty little marks in the material as you're working it. So don't leave any sharp corners on the peen. Knock those off. Get them nice and round. Make sure the tip of that peen is nice and smooth, because the tip of the peen is what's going to be coming in contact with your working surface. And if the tip of the peen has sharp edges, it's going to leave all kinds of nasty little depressions and marks in the surface of your working material. And we don't want no nasty marks in the surface of our working material, so we want a nice, smooth, round peen. Now we're going to go ahead and go through our de-stressing, let it heat up, cool down, all that jazz, and we'll be back to heat treat this sucker here in a minute. Here we go. So what I did for this hammer is I just reused the same handle that it came to me with, because that's plenty long enough for a light hammer like this, and all I did here was you reuse the same wedge that was originally in there, and then I backfilled the whole section with resin, so that way if it does try to work loose, it has something to bind with. It's not going to come loose. This is just like guys do with the fiberglass heads in the modern day, is you wedge it and then you throw some fiberglass resin over top, and that holds it. We've also got our nice peen here. We still need to grind and shine up the peen and grind and shine up the face, and then hit this whole thing with a wire brush once that finishes hardening. Then scrape this real quick to get all the varnish off of it, burn it, oil it, and then it'll be ready for use. And we'll have a nice little 2-pound straight peen hammer. It's going to be a pretty good little forging hammer. You can see it's got quite a heavy radius, and that's before I clean it up with the grinder, so that'll get a little bit steeper, but not much. That'll help with moving material in just general, just forging, and then this will help with, you know, stretching and dishing and making sockets and the like. And since it's a light 2-pound hammer, it's going to be kind of one of those that you can swing all day without getting tired, because my usual weight is a 3.5 pounds. So this will be a light working hammer for me that will get a lot of use out of it in the future, just like those other two. So I'll be right back to you guys once that finishes hardening up and we'll get this scraped, polished, all that jazz. So give me 1 hour and I'll be right back. So we've got our varnish removed, and the original handle that this had was scuffed a little bit here and had this X and dashes kind of deal going on here. I left that in there because I didn't want to remove all that material, for one, and for two, it's smooth enough where it's not going to really screw with me when I'm forging with it, and it's a nice homage to the original owner, whoever they were. I got this at a Habitat for Humanity store for like $3, so whoever it was, if this was your hammer before, well, it's a forging hammer now. As you can see, we've got a nice smooth polish on our rounding face, as well as a nice smooth polish on our peen. So our hammerhead is ready to start working. All I need to do now is just burn this handle and oil it, and we've got another hammer for forging. We got our handle all cleaned up. We got a nice burn on it, nice and smooth. It's going to be pretty comfortable to work with. It's got some good rebound to it when we use it. And yeah, another forging hammer made, another tool for the shop down. Having the proper hammers or tools to do certain tasks just helps a lot, and this is, you know, something that I've needed for a while, is just a nice little straight peen that's a nice lightweight with a nice forging face, so I can use that rounding face to do basic forging. And when needed, I can switch over to the cross peen, and it's a nice thick, properly designed cross peen where it's got that wedge shape to it, so it'll really push or pull the material. But that does it for today's video. If you guys liked what you've seen, do me a favor, do that thing right there. Until next time, God bless, stay sharp out there. If you're looking for a custom sharp object like a knife, sword, polearm, whatever, check out the Etsy store. Link will be at the end of the video.